Hi, my friends. I hope you're doing fantastic. In this episode, I am going to review this book, The Blood Pressure Solution by Dr. Marlene Merrit. You can see this book, right? Perfect. It's a very short book, but I found it very profound in terms of the simple explanation of things, not too much of scientific material, just to the point. And I found the recommendations also very beneficial. I am somebody who is working to come out of my blood pressure medications. I have a little bit of hypertension that I have been struggling with. And it's very important for me personally to lower my blood pressure. So this book is to this point, and it's something that reiterated many of the concepts that I've been implementing in my own life in terms of blood pressure and having a healthy heart and in general healthy body. So let's go and review this book. It begins with explaining what is blood pressure, how it works. So she goes into detail about understanding the blood pressure, what are the triggering symptoms that are causing blood pressure, and that was very well explained. The author goes into explaining the different numbers, the systolic and diastolic, and what does it mean by each of these numbers, and what causes them to get elevated, and the impact of our body because of that, right? So one of the points that she mentioned is like even if the systolic pressure, which is the higher number, which we want to be keeping around 120, and the lower number is about 80. If the diastolic pressure is high, which is the resting heartbeat is high, it's much more problem than the systolic blood pressure, right? So that was an interesting learning, and she really explained it well. After that, then there is an entire section on hidden dangers of blood pressure, and that was something that is also been very important for us to review. Went into every different organs in our body, like how does high blood pressure impacts heart, kidneys, brain, and bedroom as well, and eye-opening issues which is related to eyes, bone. They were very short. I think the chapters are very short, so I was able to quickly read this book. It's not a very big book compared to many other health books which are more thicker and more research driven. This is like a very short to the point book, so it was very easy for me to finish the book, so that was really good. Then she goes into different solutions for lowering the medication based on the medication purpose, right? The healthcare industry. Like if you go to your doctor and say, or it is or you're diagnosed to have high blood pressure, how do you know what kind of blood pressure medication they give? And those categories, right? So there is different categories: ACE inhibitors, alpha blockers, beta blockers, diuretics. So all these different kind of medication, she goes into a little bit of detail on what is it and what are the side effects that comes when when we take those medication actually. So the one I take is on ACE inhibitor. So I was able to understand it, and my goal with blood pressure is to come out of blood pressure medication. So I'm actively working on my lifestyle. In fact, today evening I had a swimming session, which I do every Wednesday with a trainer. So it really helps me in my cardiovascular energy, my relaxation, my stretching, and also stress management, which are all points that are explained in the book. So let's get into the actual strategies that she mentioned. There are six strategies are there. Number one is dietary adjustments. Second is vitamin, minerals, and smart supplementation. Then reducing the body fat, exercise, stress reduction, eliminating toxins. I love this list because it is common sense, but as I say, common sense is usually not common practice. In the dietary adjustment section is where she goes into talking about different health, different blood pressure causing food, especially related to chemicals and processed food and related all those things. They go into fat, carbs, and protein, and the optimal ratio, which, by the way, I usually do not recommend any specific ratio of macronutrients, and because that's personal. It's related to your body and the level of intensity of activities and your goals that you have. If you're just losing weight, then a low carb, high fat, kind of more like a moderate protein, like, again, this is not a dietary guidance, so please don't take that way. But if you want to put muscles, like, I need to add more proteins to my diet, because obviously my goal is, I'm doing everything to lose weight, but then I also need to build muscles, right? So to build muscles, I need to repair my body after all these activities and exercises. So because of that, my kind of daily calorie calculation is different. But one thing we all agree, even for fat, even for calories, even for carbs and proteins, cut down the processed version of it, right? So carbs, reduce the processed carbs, right? Fat, reduce the processed fat. Protein, you can take healthy protein, but avoid taking proteins that are coming from unhealthy sources, right? So I think that I agree, but I may not fully agree with the current split that she has, which is more like a high fat diet, like 65% fat, 25% protein, 10% carbs, which is not my choice of health. But again, this is personal and I'm not recommending one or the other. Please consider your doctor or your nutritionist or your dietitian or your health coach before you make any change. As I get, the remaining are mostly the food section, so I won't go deeper. There are sections on sodium, which is something that she covered on how sodium causes impact on your blood pressure. That was very interesting discussion. I found it very helpful, and which was my problem from processed food, right? When I take processed food, the sodium intake is also going up, and that's also something that she covers. That makes it she mentioned that sodium is almost 77% of the sodium. So this is a survey that happened in 1991. It says that 77% of the sodium intake came from processed food. Only 5% came from the added during the cooking, and then 6% just extra added in the table salt, right? We just sprinkle the salt, that sprinkling the yummy salt that you add, right? That's what I was talking about. But so if you cut down the processed food, you're also cutting down the sodium, right? So that's something we can do. And then she also goes into the sugar, and obviously if you cut down the processed food, sugar also will go down. So that's the discussion going on. She covered about DASH diet, which is also on the little bit on the it's a diet that is actually recommended usually for lowering blood pressure, but she mentioned she didn't like it because it's having a little bit higher portion of carb size. Again, that's not something that I follow. Again, so it's not really something that I also recommend, because again, diet, it's up to you. You decide. Like, I'm just going over it, but she don't recommend DASH diet, so it's her choice. Then she goes into category 2, which is the smart supplementation, and she talks about various various vitamins and minerals like potassium, magnesium, calcium, then anthocyanins, I hope I got the name, garlic, oolong tea, oh, that's like it, okay, selenium, nitrates, L-arginine, okay, that's tough. A bunch of other vitamins and minerals, and then the goal is you get this primarily from your food. But if you don't, then you can try to add it from the supplement. She also recommends that consult your doctor before starting any supplementation, which is typically my recommendation as well. Just check out with the doctor before doing any supplementation, because it's very important. I personally do a multivitamin every day. I do omega-3, which gives me the fish. I take it from the fish oil. I get that. And then I do my vitamin D as well, which I work mostly in office. I don't get enough sunlight, and I'm usually deficient in vitamin D. So those are the main ones that I get. And I also have a protein drink, right? Protein drink is I take 1 or 2 scoops per day depending on the workout intensity that I do. That protein drink, the scoop itself has extra vitamins and mineral supplements are in that. So that's my thing. But again, up to you what you want to figure it out. But that's an area that she has covered. Vitamin E, vitamin D, yes, all things good. Let us go to the next one, which is reducing body fat. So this was a very short chapter. Uh, I think the discussion is that if you should reduce the body fat, because less your body fat goes, your the blood pressure also will go down, which is fine. I think for every pound or something, a percentage lowering in the blood pressure will happen as well. For me, reducing visceral fat, my body fat, I recently did a DEXA scan, and my body fat percentage is 34 percentage, which I want to bring down to 24 percentage. So while also increasing my muscle mass as well, right? So which is an important goal for me for reducing body fat. So I'm hoping that this also will help me to make my blood pressure better, and also get out of my blood pressure medication as well. Cooking, yeah, like how do you do the cooking properly and everything related to the reducing the fat, drinking more water, sleep. I think this was interesting. It says that as your body rests and repairs the cellular damage from a normal day's activity, your body is also releasing powerful fat fighting hormones, as long as you are getting deep restful sleep, right? So which is an area that I am really working on to get plenty of and quality sleep. And I think I remember that I need to get sleep. I'm actually recording this at night, so I'll do that. And then she mentioned about carb consumption. Actually, again, it goes with reducing body fat. So it's all in that category. For this exercise, she goes into details about different kind of exercise we can do, and then just high level topics on different point on exercise as well. You all know, right? Fifth is stress reduction. How stress causes the body to increase the blood pressure, and all the anxiety, the stress, the worry and everything are definitely causing, which is an area that I am working on myself for stress management. She covers meditation, breathing techniques, and then all the other strategies that you can use for for the stress management strategy. That's number 5, I believe, right? And then sleep. Yeah, sleep is also called as a big point for reducing stress. So I think it's interesting, like sleep is covering in the stress section, and then it's also covering in the fat reduction section as well. So you can hit multiple birds in one shot, if that metaphor is correct. Hitting birds is not a good metaphor. I think I should start changing that. Finally, category 6 is eliminating toxins, which is where she talks about smoking. It will cause blood pressure, alcohol, how it impacts blood pressure, and yeah, those two are the main ones, and general discussion about keeping the toxins and everything at lower amount that can help you in blood pressure. I pretty much gave out the entire book. I just told you everything this book has. It's a very short book. Definitely, I got this book from a garage sale, actually. That's something interesting. I go for garage sales, and I get a lot of books from there. So this was interesting. I read it. I liked it. What I'm taking away, again, whenever I'm reading a book, for me, it's about, wow, it's such a great book, fantastic read. I just can comment about the author. Then I go back to my normal life. I think I don't want to be that kind of reader, especially when I'm reading personal development / non-fiction book. So I think 3 things if I take out of it, right? If you look at the 6 categories, let's go back to the 6 categories again. Processed food, definitely it's out of my radar already, so I'm actually doing that well. My body fat percentage reduction is a big goal that I'm working on, so if I could get that going, that is number 1. Second is sleep. I'm really actively working on my sleep section, so if I can get that work, it's perfect. Exercise, I think I have good enough routines. I'm actually good on that. And then third, I feel is which one I should do. Actually, let me see. Actually, stress management, right? So overall, the meditation and the kind of mindset piece on the stress section piece, which I think is going to help me very much implementing concept from this book. And I'm going to revisit this book again and see what else can I do. I hope this was great. I went in quite a bit detail in this review. Usually I don't do this level of detail, but again, this is a topic that is near and dear to me, and it's a short book anyway, so I thought of going, explaining it to you. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel so you can get alerted every time I release a new video. And if you like to keep in touch with me, I have a weekly newsletter that I sent out. It's called Sijith's Inner Circle. It goes out every time I have a new video. That is two times per week. One on a Wednesday, which is my weekly book review, and then on Sunday, where I talk mostly about communication as my primary topic. Then I also talk other topics that are important that I'm learning and I want to share with you all as well. I hope you liked it. If you do like it, again, consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks again for watching. I will speak to you next time. Till then, have a fantastic rest of the day. Bye-bye.